Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief. That's March the 20th, 2010. Well, let's put it this way. Not a lot of data last night, but the market did get its teeth into a few things. And obviously one of the major things was India. India raised its retail and discount rates by 0.25%. And obviously that signaled people that the concerns on inflation in India could actually also spill over into China. Obviously two of the most powerful economies in terms of economic performance at the moment. I think a lot of people don't understand that India's inflation rate is up around about that 9.7%. So it is quite a concern. And I think people at the moment are sort of questioning whether or not any form of sustained recovery is with us if in fact interest rates start to be pushed up in these emerging economies. So it is thought for consideration. On the back of that, we did see US dollar a little bit firmer, the Dow under a little bit of pressure. We also heard a little bit of concerns on what's happening in Greece. We want to get a bit of a wriggle on actually getting into the nuts and bolts of the sovereign debt issue and solving it. So there was a little bit of things there. So let's have a little bit of a wrap of what actually occurred. And let's just run through that now. Okay, here we go. The Dow, there we go. The Dow down only about, there we go, 37 points. 10,741. The S&P down 5.9, the Nasdaq down 16. The local market, our market was down a fraction, and they're down about 12 points. Looking at Europe, we saw the Stoke was down 15, FTSE up 7, the DAX down 29, and the CAC down 12. So a little bit of negativeness there across the board. As you can see, the major points, stocks in the US decline, purely on the back of a little bit of strength in the US dollar. And I guess there wasn't a lot of news, not a lot of activity, economic activity in news to get our teeth into. People at the moment, I think, are starting to get a little bit concerned over those emerging economies' growth and inflation and how fast and how soon interest rates will be moved up in those particular areas. So something there to get our teeth into. Let's have a look just quickly for those that sort of see these. Let's have a look at here we go, a little bit of the other markets. As mentioned, the local market, 48.72. Let's just have a look at this for a second. I mean, this is what we're looking at in terms of the front month. It looks quite strong. This movement looks quite strong, and it's sort of going to be interesting to see what actually happens, because when you look at the daily charts, we're right at the top of this resistance. And just watch this. There we go. Look at this resistance up here. Now, whether or not the market's got the legs to break on and upwards, at the moment we're full of optimism, and we feel that that could occur. But we are right at the top of the range. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not we've got that ability to really push through. Anyway, that's on the local market. Let's see next week how it'll unfold. But in terms of morning debrief, the dollar index, 18.95. As you can see, that's the movement we saw last night. And that strength does look very interesting. There it is on the hourly basis. Look, when you look at it, look at the daily. You can see this little breakout here, and that's certainly breaking out of some consolidation there. There it is there, and there could be that flight to quality that we've all looked at. So it could be the dollar's in for the moment. By looking at that, you can see exactly what happened there with the euro, 135.30. As mentioned the other day, we nipped out of our euro position with a small profit, and I'm quite happy we did that, believe you me. We're testing the lower end of the ranges. One of the bigger moves last night was with the pound, and that sort of certainly came under pressure. Let's just get that and have a look at it, because this is, I guess, the power of some of the foreign exchange trading. 150.08, and look at that fall there, coming right down to those lows, and it looks like some of that might be tested again. But when you look at the big picture, there you go. You don't want to see it break below that 149. 49.50. That is a big key. You just don't want that to happen, because then we're visiting all that. And there could be just dollar strength for a while. And dollar strength, I guess, even looking at the Aussie, looking at some of the other currencies, is on the cards if, in fact, we get concerns starting to appear of this economic recovery. This will hurt Aussie quite a bit if that's the case. So it might be wise, just given that we do have a little bit of high, a bit of a low, so a bit of a high in place. And one tip I can always give you with the Aussie, trades up the stairs and down the escalator. So it's going to be a quick move on the downside if it occurs. Look at this little bit of divergence appearing here. Now that is a little bit scary. So I would start to think that we could have a little bit of dollar strength coming up. So let's just be careful of that, and just looking at that analysis, I think that is the case. Okay, have a look at commodities. How did the commodities? We've looked at the foreign exchange. Commodity sector, oil, top end of the range. Ouch, hasn't broken yet. Will it break through? I think that we're starting to get a little bit of a picture, a negative picture starting to build up in a lot of these things. Copper's a little bit different. But look at gold. Gold had a huge move to the downside, 1106.65. Now, we still like this sort of play, but it hit that trend line which we've been following, and she came back with a vengeance. So we could actually see it actually test this major trend line that we've had in play. So let's just be cautious on that. I don't like the way that it's traded, but I do like that this is a breach, pullback, consolidation of the major trend. So I do support that. Okay, so we mentioned that. Let's have a look at some of the softs. Doing nothing but at the big picture, the lower end of the range. It might also be a good idea just to look at this weekly chart. Look at it. The world's awash with wheat. Lower end of the range, but this might take a while to come out of it. It will come out of it. But I have seen wheat before do this, where it sits in a range for a very long time and does nothing. And I think we're getting close to that. But I do like this for a movement to the top side over time. Okay, so that's it there. We've mentioned some of them. One thing I do want to keep a little bit of a mention on is cotton. Some of our systems went long cotton, and probably worthwhile just having a quick look at it. And there we go. Get that up. Where are you, cotton? Not coming up. OTTON. Obviously, this is the way we obviously use with the Falcon because it has everything at our fingertips. Now, just have a look at this. This is a bit of a long-term chart of it. It does look a little bit scary, but our systems, are long, and we're going to be monitoring that because it's been a pretty powerful move, and it just seems to be edging up the whole time. And there you go. We've been long around about here. I'm going to monitor it very closely because it's just one of the systems which set it, so we're just following it. Okay, so really that's about it. Obviously, it's the end of the week. That's the end of the week report. Remember, we've got the war report that comes out on Monday morning, and that gives us the week ahead report. That's why it's the war report. So we'll have a look at that. Our positions at the moment, what are we? We're out of the euro. We're out of gold. We've got a very small position in copper, sugar, and cotton. So there's not a lot out there that we're looking at that we're confident enough to sort of pile in. And we're going to be monitoring things very closely. We had that small long on gold, which we recommended. I missed it, but I think it's the right thing at the moment just to sit sideways. So one thing to look at, I think, is the Aussie. Keep an eye on that one because that might come under pressure a little bit with that dollar strength. So but we'll let you know via the tweet exactly what happens on that when I go into a trade there. And I guess that's about it. So have a great weekend. Keep an eye on those trades. Remember, look at the channel, the www.commoditybroking channel. That has lots of things on there at the moment. And also just sign up to the tweets and Facebook, and we'll keep you fully informed. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.